In this video, we are going to talk about Pythagorean theorem. And Pythagorean theorem only works on right triangles. And the relationship with Pythagorean theorem is that if you take leg squared plus leg squared, it's going to equal hypotenuse squared. So you square the leg, add those two together, and that value should add up to the exact same thing as the hypotenuse being squared. So what you've probably seen in the past is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the legs are the sides that make up the right angle, and then the hypotenuse is across from the 90-degree angle. So let's use that for an example. So it says, use Pythagorean theorem to find b, which is going to be one of the legs, when you know one of the legs is 8 and the hypotenuse is 17. So we'll draw our own picture. Okay, and so we'll say that one of the legs is 8. The other leg, we don't know. We're going to call it b because that's what they had. And then the hypotenuse is 17. All right, so since it's a right triangle, then we can use Pythagorean theorem. So it's legs squared plus legs squared equals hypotenuse squared. So 8 squared is 64 plus b squared, and 17 squared, if you throw that in the calculator, is 289. So we're going to try to get b by itself. So we're going to subtract 64 first. And so b squared is going to equal 289 minus 64, which is 225. And if we cancel, we want to undo the square. We square root both sides to make that happen. So that gets b by itself. And the square root of 225 is 15 if you put that in the calculator. So it's 15 millimeters. All right. And then we have one more triangle that we can do. We're trying to figure out, find the center to center distance between the pulleys. So not the length of the kind of band going around it. We're looking for the actual like this. So I'm going to draw my own picture. So from here to here, from center to center, it's 10. And so the distances that we're going to find are going to be kind of shorter than what the belt would be. So from center to center, that's 10. And from center to center, that's 15. And we don't know the hypotenuse then. So we'll just call that an x. All right. So if we're going to use Pythagorean theorem, which we can, it's just going to be leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So 10 squared plus 15 squared equals our x squared. So 10 squared is 100. 15 squared is 225. And that equals x squared. If you add these two together, that makes 325 equals x squared. And then we have a square that we want to undo, so we square root both sides to make that happen. And so that would get us the square root of 325. So if we square root 325, it doesn't work out perfect, and that's okay. It's decently common that it works out good, but sometimes it just doesn't. So if we round this to, let's say, 2 decimal places, we're going to make that 18.03, and that would be the length of the hypotenuse. So our hypotenuse's length would be 18.03 inches. And it's a length, so we're not going to square it. So it's just 18.03. All right, so that was using Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side of a right triangle.